net worth $300 million. He went to heaven for a few minutes, came back, gave all 300 million away. So you have to start asking yourself, these people are having these encounters and then they flip, like the gangster. And I think I saw the guy that was a gangster, and I think he got shot and he ended up going to hell. He did a video on YouTube, and he said the thing, they asked him, they said, what was one of the worst things you saw down there? And he said, I'll mention two. He said, one of the things he said that I can't get out of my mind is he said, what was happening to the people in hell who wouldn't stop sleeping around in planet Earth? What the demons were doing to them. He said, I can't repeat that. He said, I can't repeat it off air. Okay, but when you read scriptures about that, people just, whatever. Okay. He said the thing that messed him up too, y'all know what a shish kebab is? You know, it's a long toothpick and you put a piece of onion on it and a green pepper and chicken. He said, that really, really messed me up. He said, when...
Let me tell you one of the reasons why I used to get kicked out of churches in my youth. The reason why I got kicked out of churches in my youth is because I would call pastors on this bullshit. Does anybody in this congregation at Lionheart Church ever check this man on his bullshit? Oh my gosh. So let's start out with the whole story of a Korean man who, anytime the person can't name them, then you have to then question the story itself. So he just says Korean man who had a net worth of 300 million, and then he went to heaven and spent a few minutes there and gave it away. The closest thing that you will find, and this is probably a distortion of this man's story, is the Reverend Sun Moon, who was a Korean pastor, who claimed that in his youth, he went to heaven for a few minutes. And after his experience of heaven, that God, Jesus, gave him a large sums of money, and that he was supposed to use this large sums of money to help the poor. Now, what actually happened is that he told this story, built up his church. As people gave money, then the controversy started. There are many that believe that he utilized this money for his own ill-gotten gains, that he used this money to go and misuse it to feed himself and those of his ilk, while there are those who still champion him because they are such believers in, oh my God, he went to heaven, that they accept whatever he said. But there's absolutely zero proof of any story of a Korean man with $300 million of net worth went to heaven, came back, and gave away all his money. Didn't happen. Maybe they're talking about Freeney, who gave away $8 billion, and his life goal was to give away the money that he had earned. He started the company, when you go on a cruise, the duty-free shops. And he gave away his money, but he told you why he was giving away his money. That was his whole lifelong goal, to give away his money. But there's no Korean dude. There's no Korean story. This pastor at Lionheart Church is just making shit up. Or he actually, what's sad is he's heard the story because the story has been told over and over and over again. And now he's just repeating a story without validating whether or not the story is true or the story is false. And through all the research I've done on this today, there's absolutely zero stories that is relatable to this other than Reverend Sun Moon. And that is not even the story. Do people not check these pastors on this bullshit? That's why I got kicked out of so many churches in my youth, because I ask questions. The gangbanger, he goes to hell. He sees demons torturing people and so on and so forth. As a pastor who claims that you are a pastor of the Bible, as parishioners, you need to check this pastor. Where in the Bible does it say that the demons and devil will be torturing people in hell? Where does it say that? Where did it say that they will be in charge and ruling hell and are the ones who are going to be doing this torture? It doesn't say that. See, Revelation says that everybody whose name was not found in the book of life, and the beast and the prophets of the beast and the demons will be thrown into the lake of fire to be tormented forever. Doesn't say that the beast will be ruling hell, but that they will be thrown into the lake of fire as well. Your Jesus characters and others like Paul, they suggest that in this afterlife, there will be gnashing of teeth. There will be darkness, separation from God. But it does not say that the devils and demons will be doing any of the torturing. As a matter of fact, most Most biblical scholars agree that the reason why the demons were protesting, trying to negotiate with Jesus when they was in the legion, when the legion of demons was inside the boy chained up against a rock, that they were protesting saying that please just let us go into the pigs, is because they didn't want to go to the lake of fire immediately. So they wanted some more time before they went into the lake of fire, because if they were in charge in hell, they would just stay in hell. In the medieval times, the ideas of hell grew and the structure of hell grew. Dante's Inferno created your imagery of hell. Paradise Lost created your imageries of hell, your imageries of the devil. The sad part about it is that the Bible doesn't create these images. If you actually did the research, and if you was on my live today, then one of the things you would have learned is the fact that when you start from the beginning of the Bible in Genesis and you look at it as it progresses through, you will see that this idea of a devil is a creation that happens, especially after the Jews are under Zoroastrian control. So when you read Genesis, you see nothing of a devil. You see a serpent. He's created on this in the garden when all the beasts of the field were brought up to Adam and Eve. He's created them, and then you hear nothing of him. He is not there to tempt Cain. He says that this God tells Cain that sin crouches at your door, but you have the power to overcome it. There is no Satan, no devil there to tempt Cain. When the flood happens, it doesn't say that all the people who died in the flood and anyone who had died previously, they went to heaven nor hell. It doesn't speak of an afterlife at all. If anything, man at that time frame was more in the mindset of immortality, because that's what they learned from the Sumerians and the Akkadians. The Canaanites followed suit in that thought process, immortality, which is why you have your story of Atrahasis and Utnapishtim, because they were seeking immortality. Gilgamesh was seeking immortality. So the mindset was immortality. Now, once they reached the time frame of the Zoroastrians under the Persians, it changes, because before that, God did all the good and God did all the evil. If God wanted to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, he sent down angels to do the destruction. In the story of Job, the Satan is one of the heavenly court. He's a member of the heavenly court. He's the 13th man. If all 12 agree, it is the duty of the 13th man to disagree. He's the 13th man. He's the adversary. He looks at things from a different perspective so that nothing is missed. It's not the devil. He's later get a workup. And the reason why he gets this workup is because when you look at 1 Samuel, it talks about who tempted or told David to do a census to count the people. It was God. In 2 Samuel, which is a retelling of 1 Samuel, who then tempts him? Oh, it's the Satan. Why? Because by the time 2 Samuel is being written, it is during the time frame where the Jewish people have now been under the control of the Persians, and they're moving into Greek control. As they are going under Greek Persian control, they realize duality, a cosmic force of good that is always fighting a cosmic force of evil. And so where before their God embolized both, now they can separate their God to have an adversary, have a evil being that is divinely evil. And so now they start to change the narrative. And when Christianity comes in a couple of hundred years later, this motif is firmly in the mind of first century Christians. And so now the devil and hell has truly been created because they've learned from the Greeks about Tartarus and Elysium. So, hey, there's heaven, there's hell. There's the duality of God, the all good, and the devil, the all bad, because they learned about Agramenia and Ahura Mazda from the Sumerians. These people are going in there making up these stories about what they see in heaven and hell because of what you've learned in pop culture through Dante's Inferno, through Paradise Lost. That's why they claim to see what they see. But if a pastor who reads the Bible should know better, he should know better and to say that these things are happening. But it's a great fear tactic. It makes people afraid. And that fear is what he craves, because that fear keeps asses in seats. That fear keeps that tithe money moving forward. And that is why he will not correct it. He will go along with that. You've seen people floating around. I met my daddy and I talked to my daddy and I came back and shish kebabs and things I can't even mention. Please, people, free yourself from this nonsense.